Being a former BCG recruiter and now part of my consulting offer, I've been fortunate enough to have helped candidates make informed decisions about their careers, whether they're aiming for an offer at a Tier 2 or a boutique consulting firm. If you received an offer at either of these firms, whether it's a Tier 2 firm like Accenture or a boutique consulting firm like Putnam Associates, which should you choose? Before we go into that, let's first understand each consulting group. Tier 2 is the name given to consulting firms that aren't McKinsey, Bain, BCG, or the Big Four. They're larger than boutique firms, but smaller than MBB, offering a balance of resources and flexibility. They typically have a global presence with offices in major cities worldwide. Projects at Tier 2 firms range from strategy and operations to technology and digital transformation. Some Tier 2 firms work with Fortune 500 companies and have a diverse client portfolio. Let's go over some Tier 2 firms. First, Accenture. Founded in 1989, Accenture originated as the consulting division of Arthur Andersen and became a separate entity in 2001. It is the outlier of all the Tier 2 firms as it has even more employees than Deloitte. It employs more than 700,000 employees in 49 countries. Now, Kearney. Founded in 1926 by Andrew Thomas Kearney, Kearney has a long history in management consulting. Kearney has around 5,700 employees globally, positioning itself as a mid-sized consulting firm. It has offices in more than 40 countries. One last example of a Tier 2 firm is Roland Berger. It was founded in 1967 by Roland Berger, a former partner at BCG. The firm started as a boutique strategy consulting firm. Roland Berger has approximately 2,400 employees worldwide, with offices in over 30 countries. Now let's move on to boutique consulting firms. Boutique consulting firms are smaller, specialized firms that offer a range of consulting services. Unlike larger firms, boutique firms typically focus on specific industries or types of consulting, providing tailored expertise to clients. They often employ fewer than 100 consultants. Their small size allows for a more personalized approach, with consultants often working closely with clients to address their unique challenges. Boutique firms may specialize in a particular industry such as healthcare, technology, or financial services, or offer specialized services such as sustainability consulting or change management. I'll share with you some examples of these firms and their specialization later on. Some of these firms have been founded as early as 1960 and 70, which means they've been around long enough to prove their worth like other top consulting firms. Here are some categories that highlight the difference between Tier 2 and boutique consulting firms. Number 1. Projects. Let's take Kearney as an example for Tier 2. Imagine stepping into Kearney's world. So it's like entering a buffet of projects with each one offering a unique flavor, from shaping the strategy of a global tech giant to helping a local startup thrive. The range of challenges is as diverse as it gets. At Kearney, you're not just solving problems, you're diving into different industries and sectors, like gaining a rich mix of experiences that shape your skills in unexpected ways. The firm's commitment to innovation means you're always at the forefront of industry trends, tackling projects that are not only varied, but also cutting edge and impactful. Now, as I mentioned in the previous part, boutique firms focus on specific industries or types of consulting. Think of them as specialized chefs. They focus on perfecting a specific dish like healthcare or sustainability. Consultants at these firms dive deep into these niches, offering clients expertise that's as finely tuned as a Michelin-starred meal. While boutique firms may not have the same variety of projects as Kearney, they provide the opportunity to become a true master in your chosen field, working closely with clients to craft solutions that are as unique as they are effective. An example of boutique firms and their expertise would be Cornerstone Research, which specializes in litigation consulting; Cambridge Consultants, which specializes in product development and innovation consulting; Strategic Decisions Group, SDG, which focuses on decision and risk analysis consulting. Number 2, size and culture. If you remember, during the first part of this video, I gave a brief overview of each type of firm and mentioned how big each firm type is. Since Tier 2 firms are larger than boutique consulting firms, they have structured hierarchies and plenty of resources for your growth. The culture here can vary, but you'll often find it's more corporate, with a focus on professionalism and following the company playbook. While you'll still find mentorship and collaboration, the size of a Tier 2 firm can sometimes make it a bit harder to form close-knit bonds with everyone. On the other hand, boutique consulting firms are smaller in size, which means you'll be working in a close-knit team where everyone knows each other. Mentorship and collaboration are big here, with senior leaders working side by side with junior staff. The culture is often more entrepreneurial, encouraging creativity and new ideas. You'll likely have a bigger impact on the firm's direction and feel more like part of a family than just an employee. For example, Bridgespan Group, which focuses on nonprofit, has around 500 employees in 6 locations. Cornerstone Research, which focuses on litigation consulting, employs 900 employees in 9 offices. So you can see here how the culture is affected by the firm's size. The smaller the firm, the more intimate and family-like the atmosphere is. Number 3, client base. Tier 2 firms' clients, although not as large as those of MBB and Big Four, still work with much larger firms than boutique consulting firms do. Let me give you some examples. Accenture works with Adidas, Best Buy, and Goldman Sachs. In contrast, boutique consulting firms often work with smaller, less well-known clients. While these clients may not have the same recognition as those of Tier 2 firms, working with them provides a different kind of experience. You'll have more direct client interaction and ownership of projects, which can be incredibly fulfilling. This hands-on experience allows you to develop strong relationships with clients and take on more responsibility early in your career. Additionally, working with smaller clients can provide a more varied experience, as you may work with clients across different industries and sectors. Cornerstone Research works with some law firms like Alston and Bird and Dentons. Bridgespan Groups works with the UN Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. Number 4, career progression. Like bigger consulting firms, for example MBB or Big Four firms, joining a Tier 2 consulting firm provides a well-defined route for advancing your career. These firms offer a structured path for advancement and numerous opportunities for promotion. Moving up the ladder vertically may demand more time and effort due to the larger scale of Tier 2 firms, so you have to be patient. Boutique consulting firms offer a different approach to career progression. Here you'll find faster advancement opportunities with a chance to take on more responsibility early in your career. The smaller size of boutique firms means you'll have greater visibility and impact, allowing you to make meaningful contributions to projects and clients. However, vertical mobility may be more limited as there are fewer levels to climb. Number 5, work-life balance. The work-life balance at a Tier 2 consulting firm can vary depending on the project and client needs. However, in general, Tier 2 firms tend to offer more predictable hours compared to boutique firms. This means that you may have a better idea of when you'll be working and when you'll have personal activities. While there may still be times when long hours are required, the overall work-life balance at a Tier 2 firm is often more manageable. There is a myth that working at a boutique consulting firm means a lot of free time. Unfortunately, boutique consulting firms often require longer hours and more intense client engagements. The smaller size of these firms means that consultants may need to take on more responsibilities, leading to longer work hours. However, boutique firms also offer more flexibility and autonomy, allowing consultants to have more control over their schedules. This flexibility can be beneficial for maintaining a work-life balance, as consultants may have more freedom to manage their work and life from locations outside the office. Number 6, the recruitment process. The recruitment process for both of these firm types is almost the same. It starts with an application submission with a resume and cover letter. Then the next stage, when you pass the application screening, which is only applicable for some of the Tier 2s, is the online assessment. Since boutique firms are quite often small, they prioritize in-person interviews and case studies over online assessments. And this leads us to the next stage, the interviews. They both use case and fit interview questions. Tier 2 cases might be broader and more general, while boutique cases could be more industry specific. So if the firm you're applying to specializes in social impact consulting, then most cases that you will encounter might be focused on social impact. Number 7, compensation. There's a myth that boutique firms cannot afford to pay like big consulting firms. This is not true. You see, there are various kinds of consulting firms, and many of them offer salaries that are competitive with bigger firms. Technically, in these firms, you can still earn a 6-figure salary in a junior position. However, there is a caveat. Smaller firms may not be equipped to handle significant financial disruptions in the market. Consequently, they may need to implement tough measures to alleviate financial strain, which could potentially impact your job security. Tier 2 consulting firms' compensation is competitive as well, depending on the location and role. I have a video where I reveal the salaries of Tier 2 firms, so I'll add the link in the description below. Number 8, exit opportunities. Tier 2 firms open doors to exciting opportunities across various industries and sectors. We spent 19 hours researching and analyzing LinkedIn data of over 20,000 alumni from different Tier 2 firms, and the most roles and industries they went into include strategy and operations roles at Fortune 500 companies or startups, business operations at tech companies like SAP, and others even started their own startups. On the other hand, consultants from boutique firms may specialize in industries or functional areas, become entrepreneurs, or take on specialized advisory roles. So you can see clearly from here that whatever you specialize during your time at the boutique consulting firm, you may most likely be doing the same thing or be part of the same specialization. But after knowing all of this, which one is right for you? At my consulting offer, whenever we work with aspiring consultants who have received offers from various firms, including Tier 2 and boutique firms, we typically advise them to ask themselves 2 questions. First, think of your long-term goal. What do you want to do after consulting? What are your career goals? Determine which firm best suits your aspirations. Tier 2 firms typically offer exposure to a wide range of industries and a well-defined career trajectory. If you have a clear preference for working in a specialized field like litigation consulting, a boutique firm like Cornerstone Research may be the one for you. Boutique firms often specialize in a particular industry or function, allowing for more in-depth expertise. If your career goals are not the primary factor in choosing between Tier 2 and boutique consulting firms, then your decision may come down to something that is short-term. Ask yourself, do I vibe with the culture of the group I'm joining? Since both firms will give you the exposure to more industries to find out what you eventually want to do. Culture is tricky because there are subcultures within big firms. For example, the Accenture London office might be different from the Accenture Moscow office, even if they're both located in Europe, while the Accenture cybersecurity group might be different from the Accenture strategy and consulting group. Same goes for boutique firms. The marketing group might be different from the consulting group. As such, it is important to understand your specific group or specific geography's vibes versus making generalized statements. You will only know this if you do networking, and we have a bunch of videos about this on our channel. Talk with people on the inside. After talking to a few different folks, for example, you'll start to develop a feel for the personality of the firm, and if you click with it or not. Who you work with matters, so getting to know the people you will be working with before you decide is a really good idea. So now you know the major differences between a career at a Tier 2 firm and a boutique consulting firm. I'm curious, which path are you leaning toward? Tier 2 or boutique firms? If you comment below the exact name of the firm you're applying to, we'll share resources on how to land interviews and prepare for your interviews depending on where you're applying. For example, if you type in Accenture, we'll share with you resources to land interviews and offers at Accenture. And if you're 100% sure of pursuing a consulting career at a Tier 2 firm or a boutique firm or another consulting firm, we would love to help you. Here at My Consulting Offer, we're a team of former consulting recruiters and interviewers, and we created a free video where we will share the secrets on how to get an interview, pass your interviews, and land your dream consulting job, regardless of your background. I've included a link to the free video below. All you have to do is click on the link below and you'll be one step closer to your dream consulting job. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear it from 𝗢𝗲𝗄𝗖, who landed an offer at a Tier 2 firm, Accenture, despite having confidence issues with her application and her interviews. I'll link to her video somewhere above my head. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.